Welcome back to EtherLink AI Insights. I'm Alex, and today we're diving into something that's reshaping how enterprises actually work: Agentic AI systems and how to orchestrate them at scale. Sam, we've talked a lot about chatbots and LLMs, but Agentic AI feels different. What's the fundamental shift here?
Great question. Chatbots are essentially reactive. You ask them something, they respond. Agentic systems are fundamentally different animals. They maintain state, they break down complex problems, they collaborate with other agents, and critically, they iterate autonomously toward goals. Think claims processing or supply chain optimization. These aren't one-shot problems. Agents need to reason, act, check results, and adjust.
So it's not just a speed upgrade, it's a completely different operating model. And the numbers back this up, right? Mackenzie's data shows 35% of enterprises are piloting multi-agent systems now, up from 12% just 2 years ago.
Exactly. And Gartner's even more aggressive. They're forecasting 25% of enterprise applications will be deployed as agentic systems by 2026. Compare that to less than 1% today. That's not incremental change. That's a wholesale transformation happening right now.
What's driving that acceleration? Is it just model capability, or is something else clicking into place?
3 things converging. First, reasoning models. Think OpenAI's O1, Claude's advanced reasoning. These make autonomous decision-making actually viable and cost-effective. Second, open standards like the Model Context Protocol reduce vendor lock-in, which enterprises desperately want. And third, the problems are just too complex now. Modern workflows need agents working in parallel, collaborating, handling exceptions.
That vendor lock-in point is huge, especially in Europe, where I imagine regulatory scrutiny is intense. Let's talk architecture. When you're building a multi-agent system, how do you actually coordinate all these agents? Is there a command and control center?
There are 2 main patterns: centralized and decentralized orchestration. Centralized uses a master coordinator that dispatches tasks, manages state, enforces governance. It's predictable, audit trails are clean, compliance visibility is straightforward. The trade-off is latency and potential bottlenecks.
And decentralized is the opposite?
Right. Agents talk peer-to-peer. They coordinate asynchronously. You get resilience and scalability, but you lose determinism. Debugging gets messy. And here's the kicker for regulated industries: your audit trail becomes opaque. In the EU, especially under AI Act frameworks, that's a non-starter.
So for enterprise, particularly in Europe, you're recommending centralized?
Strongly. You need that control plane, that transparent audit trail and single point of governance control. It's not sexy from an architecture standpoint, but it's what separates production systems from garage experiments.
Fair point. Now, agents can't live in isolation. They need to interact with actual business systems, CRM, databases, APIs. How do you safely connect agents to those tools?
That's where agent SDKs come in, software development kits that provide standardized interfaces for tool binding. But here's what separates a prototype from production-ready. Tool discovery needs to be dynamic, not hard-coded. Agents need to introspect available tools at runtime.
Why is that important?
Because in a real enterprise, tools change. You integrate a new API, you deprecate legacy systems. If agents have hard-coded tool lists, they break. Dynamic discovery means your agents adapt automatically, but you also need execution isolation. Tools run in sandboxed environments, so a bad tool call doesn't cascade and break your entire system.
And error handling, I imagine, is critical?
Absolutely. Tools fail. Networks time out. External systems are unavailable. Your agents need retry logic, escalation paths, graceful degradation, and every single tool call, success or failure, needs to be logged. That's your audit trail. That's how you prove compliance.
You also mentioned rate limiting. Why does that matter?
Agents can get overzealous. Without rate limiting, a multi-agent system could hammer your downstream systems, databases, APIs, internal services, and create a self-inflicted denial of service. You need circuit breakers, quotas, back pressure mechanisms built into the SDK.
So the SDK is really the translator between agent logic and the real enterprise infrastructure. Now, once you've deployed these systems, how do you actually evaluate whether they're working?
This is where a lot of enterprises fall apart. They deploy an agent system and have no visibility into whether it's solving the problem efficiently. You need a production evaluation framework. Not just does it return an answer, but metrics around latency, cost per task, error rates, audit trail completeness, and critical human oversight metrics.
Human oversight? I thought the whole point was autonomous.
Autonomous for routine tasks, yes, but in regulated domains, financial services, healthcare, legal, you need humans in the loop at critical junctures. An agent might flag a claim for manual review. A supply chain decision might require human sign-off. Your evaluation framework needs to measure how effectively agents escalate, not just how many decisions they make solo.
That makes sense. What about governance? You mentioned compliance audit trails earlier.
Non-negotiable in Europe. Every decision an agent makes needs to be traceable. Who triggered it, what data it accessed, what tools it called, what reasoning it used, who approved it if required. Under AI Act and GDPR, you need that complete audit trail. And it can't be an afterthought. It has to be architected into the system from day one.
Is there a difference in how this plays out in different regions? Or is compliance pretty universal now?
Universal is the direction. EU is ahead with the AI Act, but the US and Asia are moving fast. The smart move for enterprises is to architect for the strictest regime, EU standards, and you're compliant everywhere. Anything less is technical debt masquerading as cost savings.
What would you say to a company just starting down this path? What's the first thing they should do?
Audit your workflows first. Don't start building agents. Ask, which processes are bottlenecks? Where do humans spend time on repetitive decisions? What's the cost of errors? Once you've mapped that, you'll know what agents could actually unlock value. Then, pick a pilot, something bounded, measurable, not your mission-critical system.
And start with centralized orchestration, clean tool integration, and robust logging from day one?
Exactly. Boring architecture wins in production. The companies that scale agentic systems successfully aren't the ones chasing the latest, flashiest patterns. They're the ones who architected for observability, compliance, and human control from the start.
Sam, thanks for breaking this down. For our listeners who want to dig deeper into multi-agent orchestration, production evaluation frameworks, and EU-compliant deployment, the full article is on etherlink.ai. You'll find specifics on SDK requirements, evaluation metrics, and real-world governance patterns that actually work at scale. Thanks for joining us on EtherLink AI Insights.